Hello, my name is Kelly Laudermilk, and this is my Module 5 video, Project 2, Continuous Improvement, My Story, for Fall 2019, AEP 858 through Fort Hays State University. One of the focuses this year for my building specifically has been chronic absenteeism. As you can see in the chart, we went from 11% to 24% of chronic absent students. That is directly linked to by sixth grade, showing that their percentage of students that don't graduate is much, much more increased if they don't get to school. We all know that if you're not at school, you can't succeed on a lot of the state assessments, and that data will affect our scores. Where are we now with ELA? We're currently in the process of adopting a curriculum. It's kind of been a hodgepodge mix of everybody throws in what they need to as a teacher, and we've kind of just pulled from different resources for a long time. So during this process, we have gotten really laser focused with our MTSS ELA instruction. And something that we use as a tool is our NWEA data. You can see on the right, this student right here, we focus on those students in the orange and red, but then we get really laser focused on what area was their downfall, where are they having the most trouble, and where can we focus our attention in a small group setting. And so we pull up that data and we can even get really specific on what lessons they need help on. So I think that's, if you look at the students in red and yellow, yes, we have an increase of students in our building in yellow, but we've moved a chunk of students from the red, and that was our overall building goal, was to move red students to yellow or green. When it comes to math instruction, we're in the second year of our new iReady curriculum, and I think that increase we've talked about being due to teachers not really being familiar with new curriculum, students not being familiar with the language of a new curriculum, and the rigor is much more difficult. So yes, we had students in red, but as they become more, I guess you would say, proficient with the language and the rigor, we're hoping to see those scores increase within the next 4 years. That's our building goal. When it comes to MTSS instruction, we really do focus in on these specific levels of how they're doing on the NWEA, and then we can get also, again, laser focused on some of the reasons why we think those students did how they did. Is it their ability to read the questions? Do they need someone to read the questions? Do they need a quiet setting? Were they rushing? Just different things like that that come into play when you're testing. So where do we want to be? As the state's vision was to understand and manage emotions, to set and achieve positive goals, to feel and show empathy for others, establish and maintain relationships, and make responsible decisions. Those are focused on the social and emotional learning goals. And then the vision of our district is on the right, meeting you where you are and taking you where you want to go. Our building has chosen to do something called Panther Packs this year, where we are in small groups at least once a month on our early release days, and then also during one other time with our whole packs during each month. So that's kind of our building focus to help enhance those skills. And during that time, we're focusing on self-regulation, self-efficacy, all of those different little soft skills that we call that are just as important as meeting the learning goals of the student. We're using the data meetings during MTSS to target kids that are chronically absent, to look at our discipline referrals as a grade level with our whole team there, meaning the math facilitator, the reading facilitator, and our principal. And some of the paras are even in there during that time. To look at our bubble students, our referrals, are we meeting each kid where they are and taking them where they need to go? How did we get where we are now? We've used MTSS and our data to drive our instruction. We've focused on those lower tiered groups. Um, we're looking at our ELA curriculum. We know it's not consistent, but we've gotten really laser focused and purposeful during our MTSS instruction. So that has truly helped with those small group instruction times to give those kids that are struggling the skills they need and practice with those skills in a smaller group setting. And it's shown to be effective for those students looking at their NWA data. Collaborative meetings were held more frequently than before. The last 2 years, we've done the weekly meetings for data to talk about kids on a weekly basis instead of letting it get to the end of a quarter or just on a collaboration day that's like every other month. So when you get laser focused weekly, I think it's become more purposeful for us to catch those students that we're not catching. But last year we weren't talking about absenteeism, and now we are seeing that our data showed that that's something we need to focus on. Progress monitoring is completed every other week for English language arts and for math. Again, those are laser focused times where we can hone in on the skills that each student's missing. And then how are we going to get where we want to be? Using the incentive this year for seeing if it helps with our chronic absenteeism. And then if not, we've talked about how we need to be more parent proactive and take those kids to our sit team and also be more active with our truancy letters that go home. Continue to collaborate weekly with our teachers, our team teachers, and then use our Panther Packs to help foster our social emotional goals. Is what we are doing making a difference? I liked this quote that said, teachers affect eternity. No one can tell where their influence stops. So we all have an impact every day on each of the students that are in our classroom. If we continue to do the progress monitoring and the data analysis and adapting our teaching strategies when we need to, then we're going to do the best we can to make a difference in the lives of our students. But the biggest part is building a positive relationship with those kiddos, because we can teach until we're blue in the face. We can do all the skills and I guess what you would say, all the rigor that we want to in the world. But if those students don't know that we truly care about them and we haven't focused on building relationship with them, then what we're doing isn't going to matter. So I think the heart of the kid and building a relationship with them to see that they matter and that we do care about how they're doing in school. And I think through Panther Packs, we can do that because not only are we just having fourth grade, we have fifth grade, sixth grade, kindergarten, first grade, and we're going to have those students all the way through until they're sixth graders in our pack. So we really get a time to focus in on building that relationship with those kiddos. And each time they see us in the hall, they know we're someone that they can reach out to and that someone who cares about them, even if we're not their classroom teacher. That's all I have today. Thank you.